World Cup Day 4 was incredible. It was historic and it was probably the best so far. We have had some fantastic games, but last night we had 4 bangers and we have to talk about them, man. We have to talk about them. There's so much to talk about. There's so much that has changed from what we thought of yesterday, because now some of the groups look completely differently, and it's going to have a big impact on this tournament. We had 4 incredible games, man. So many goals scored yesterday. Starting off, of course, at the NRG Stadium in Houston, Germany 7, Curacao 1. And Curacao might be the happier of the 2 teams. That's how crazy that is. Germany go 1-0 up early on through Nmecha. Very nice first time finish after the assist from Florian Wirtz. And then the game starts to shift just a little bit and Curacao have their moment. It's Comenencia who scores. It takes a little deflection and it sends that nation into a frenzy. I mean, I was so happy for them. It was incredible. They scored at the World Cup. A nation. There's 52 cities in Germany with a higher population than Curacao, and they scored against them. And it wasn't a consolation goal. They scored to level the game up. Honestly, it was unbelievable. It was crazy scenes in Curacao. Obviously, it was expected that Germany would go on to dominate this game, but Curacao had their moment in the sun. They scored a goal. Their World Cup's a success now. I mean, it was a success before it even started, if we're being really honest. But the fact that they scored a goal, huge success for Curacao, and it took Germany a while to really have a good look at themselves and start playing, because Germany, they didn't look at their best, and eventually it was a set piece from Schlotterbeck and then that Havertz penalty, and then second half Germany were dominant and Curacao really didn't have much. Undav got the score sheet, Nathaniel Brown, Musiala and Kai Havertz then scored to make it 7, and as expected, Germany got the job done very convincingly, and they look to still be the favourites in this group. However, there was another game in this group. Let's go straight to it, man. We'll go to the other one after. Let's go to Ivory Coast against Ecuador, because Jesus Christ, man. I'm upset because, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of this Ecuadorian national team. I loved watching this game. I think it was a great game to watch, but also it just ended in heartbreak and Ecuador just not being able to score again. And the fact that it's a loss, it's not a draw, it's a loss because of the Amad Diallo late winner makes this so much worse, because the chances of Ecuador topping the group now are relatively slim. It would have to, they'd have to hope that Germany beat Cote d'Ivoire, they would have to beat Germany, and then hope that goal difference goes in their favour, which is not something that's very likely, especially with how Germany just destroyed Curacao. We'll see how they deal against Curacao next week. But it wasn't good, man. It wasn't good. The result wasn't good. The performance wasn't terrible from Ecuador. Let's be completely honest. Defensively, I think they had more question marks than going forward. Going forward, they created chances. They had moments, but they couldn't score yet again. They hit the crossbar twice, and then they hit the post on top of that. They had chances. They had chances. The Minda chance, in my opinion, when he hit the crossbar, was their biggest chance of this game. Beautifully played through ball from Pedro Vita, who I think had a good game himself. And then the shot from Minda, man, I think he has to do better there. I think he has to score. In terms of players that impressed me and didn't, let's start with Ecuador. I think Gonzalo Plata had a very good game. Very good game. Dropping deep to collect the ball, turning with it, silky moves, great dribbling, good change of speed. I liked him a lot. I think he was good. Like I said, I think Pedro Vita had a good game. I think the defense was solid, but I think Hincapié did not have a good game. Obviously, it's hard defending Diomande, and he was unbelievable. I mean, Diomande was man of the match for me, 100%. But it was hard to defend him, and I love Diomande, but I think he didn't have the greatest game himself. I think that Ordóñez was decent. I think Pacho was decent. I don't really think you can fault them too much. I think the goal is just, it's just a great goal. It's a great goal. And I think Caicedo has to get back there and, stop Diallo, because Diallo was incredibly free for that goal. Alan Franco, not for me. John Yeboah, he hit the crossbar. He had one other shot. Other than that, I don't think he had his best game either. I think Ener Valencia had his moments. I think he was decent, especially at his age. I think he was decent. And Alan Minda, not for me. I think next game you go with Angulo, and I think you go with Preciado as well. I think Preciado was very, very good when he came on. I think he provides something different, up and down winger. slash wing back, and I think against a team like Curaçao, I think you play him as the right back instead of Franco, and you go more attacking because there's no point to save yourself for anything. And yeah, I think that's what you do. I think Ecuador, BKSS needs to figure it out because, it wasn't a bad performance, but they didn't get the job done. Now that you are up against a really, really good team. Now, we know how good the elephants of Ivory Coast are. They are fantastic. They beat France in a recent friendly. These guys look like a potential dark horse at this tournament, but so are Ecuador. And Ecuador should have higher expectations of themselves. And losing this game is a disappointment. It absolutely is. Now, they're most likely going to finish third in this group. And the bracket doesn't look good for that. The bracket doesn't look good. They need to at least get second ahead of the Germans, because if they don't, it's going to become a huge issue if they finish third. Now, if they get second, they're still going to get a hard matchup. They're getting hard matchups regardless, but they need to prepare going into the knockouts better, and they need to take their freaking chances. As for Cote d'Ivoire, we need to talk about them, man, because they are serious. Their team, Diomande, is fantastic. He is, I think throughout the majority of the game, Ecuador were the better side. But whenever Diomande got on the ball, that's when Cote d'Ivoire did stuff. It was him. It was all him in that attack. I don't think Nicolas Pepe was great. Elie Awahi wasn't great. Bazumana Toure was invisible. Until Amad Diallo came on and he started playing really, really well. It was the Diomande show for Ivory Coast. And defensively, there were gaps. It wasn't a perfect performance from Ivory Coast. But when the moments came, they took it. Christ do lie. I was surprised he didn't start. I think he should start the next game. I think he looked good when he came on, and as did Amad Diallo, who of course nicks the winner. And Emerse Faé, man, what a coach. He outcoached BKSS. That's what happened in this game. That's what happened. Emerse Faé outcoached BKSS. And the dynamic of this group changes totally now. Especially with Ecuador playing Curaçao next week, Germany, Ivory Coast being before that. So we'll see, going into that game, if Cote d'Ivoire win, it'll be impossible for Ecuador to top the group, and then, the focus is going to switch into trying to get second place. And we'll see, obviously, because this group is paired up with Group I for second place and for first place in the round of 16. We'll see how Group I does, because they kick off tomorrow night. We'll see how much of an impact that has on this group. Now we've got to go to Group F, man. And in my opinion, game of the night, game of the tournament so far. Well, second half of the tournament, because the first was absolutely pathetic. Netherlands versus Japan, 2-2 in the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It was a fantastic spectacle in the second half. The first half, mate, I was so excited to watch this game because I really like Japan, man. I like this team. There's so many technical players. And they just play very nice football. Do I like Moriyasu? Not at all. I think he's terrible, but I like the players. And Netherlands is a team that I have kind of maybe underrated according to some people. I just don't think they're that great. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I just don't think they're amazing. I think that they have a lot of weaknesses, and the manager, again, being one of them. I don't think they play the best football. They're not a great team to watch, and I don't think they're going to go far at this tournament. So I was excited for this game, and I thought Japan here have an opportunity to win it. However, the first half from Japan was too passive. I'm sorry. Moriyasu, again, has to take responsibility because the players are freaking good. But it was passive. It was very, very passive. And it looked like they were scared of the Dutch. And the Dutch didn't want to do anything themselves. It was walking football. It was terrible in the first half. Second half, things change, and it's Virgil van Dijk, my captain himself, who gets his head on the ball, beautifully placed header into the corner. Absolutely fantastic. And that kind of opens the game up. It forces Japan to come up and play. And then 7 minutes later, they get their equaliser through a brilliant strike from my boy, my favourite player on this team, a guy who I have been talking about for years, Keito Nakamura. What a man, bro. What a man. And the shot, man, the finish was fantastic. Then 7 minutes later, Somerville puts the Dutch in front again with a beautiful finish of his own. And, it looked for a while that the Dutch were going to be able to win this game, but then towards the end, it was Japan who were pushing, but they were just putting crosses into the box. And they're so much shorter than the Dutch. It was going to be really, really hard. And I think Japan, for Japan, I think the game changed when Junya Ito came on, because I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He then crosses the corner kick at the end, and it's actually from the set piece. I think it comes off Daichi Kamada, who scores the goal, and Japan escaped with a 2-2 draw. And it was actually, I didn't believe it. It was the set piece that managed to get them the point in this game. And I don't know who's going to be happy about this, the Dutch or Japanese. I think Japan will be slightly happier, of course, because they're the one who won it late. But I don't think they themselves can be very happy. And I think Moriyasu, again, just has to look at himself, man. Junya Ito has to start the next game. He absolutely has to start against Tunisia. We saw how poor Tunisia were. We'll get on to them. This is a game where you can attack, where you can try and score goals. Junya Ito was fantastic when he came on. Maeda did virtually nothing throughout the entire game. And then, the man who did actually nothing, who was the worst player on the pitch in my opinion, Ayase Ueda. This guy, man, how many times did he touch the football? Like 12? He did nothing the whole game. He was just there. And this is the thing with Ueda. Like, people will look at his numbers. Oh, he's got 25 goals at Feyenoord. Whenever you actually watch him play, he doesn't deliver. And I think that's an issue for this Japanese team, because I think the wingers are here, man. The wingers are here. Kubo, Nakamura, Ito, Doan, Maeda. There's so many options. The midfield duo of Sano and Kamada, I think, were decent. I think it was okay. I think defensively, it's just, against the Dutch, the crossing football and all of that. But the two finishes were just virtually unsavable for Zion Suzuki. As for the Dutch, if we look at their point of view from this game, I think they should be severely concerned, because I don't think they did enough going forward. I think that attack proved to be slightly lackluster, and I think defensively there were gaps. And if Japan played better, they would have won this game. They didn't, but going further into this tournament, I think the Dutch should be slightly worried. Now, I think something that was good for them was the midfield. I think Gravenberch, De Jong and Reinders as a midfield looked very, very solid. I think in between both boxes they were good, but can't defend, can't score, that sort of thing for the Dutch, because I think they should be concerned. I think Ronald Koeman, I don't think the subs were very good either when they came on. Timber, Koopmeiners, Depay, I think they struggled. And, now they play against Sweden, who are on a severe high, and they need to win that game. If the Dutch do not beat Sweden, they will go into that Tunisia game with immense pressure, and their chances of topping the group are pretty slim. And you know what happens when you don't top the group? Finishing second looks like a Brazil game, potentially, in the round of 32, which is not what you want if you're the Dutch. And the other game in that group, Sweden 5, Tunisia 1. My days, man. Tunisia are so cooked. Oh my, I wanted to have some belief in the Eagles of Carthage going into this tournament. I thought that under Lamouchi things would change, but my word, they were outclassed in every single way possible. It was insane. Ayari gets the early goal, beautiful strike from him. Then Isak makes it 2-0 after the goalkeeper, man, Shamak, absolutely terrible. 2 of the goals were completely his. I'm sorry. He had a stinker of a game. Absolute stinker. That second goal, he has to be saving. It's 2-0. Rekic scores, makes it 2-1. I'm thinking Tunisia might have a chance here. And then late in the game is Gyökeres, after a mistake from Skiri, who had a terrible game of his own. Gyökeres makes it 3-1. That kind of puts a dagger in the game. And to make matters worse, it's Svanberg and then Ayari again, who scored 2 nice goals to make it 5-1. And Tunisia, man, defensively looked absolutely woeful. And going forward, they didn't do much. The only goal they scored was from a cross. That's how they do it. They didn't have anything. They're one of the worst teams of this tournament, man. And it really hurts me to say this because I like Tunisia. But they were completely outclassed by a team who I believe is average. I don't think these Swedes are very good. The fact that they were that good it makes it even worse for Tunisia, man. Honestly, so poor from them. And I think their chances of making it out of this group are virtually nothing. And I think Sweden, with their high goal difference, are basically through. So now it's going to be about, can Japan and Netherlands also guarantee their places? If they win next week, I think Netherlands, Sweden, Japan are all going to be going through to the knockouts. Now it's going to depend on which order, because that's going to be very important for the knockout bracket. I can't wait to see how these groups end. Group E is going to have to rely a lot on Group I to look at, the matchups, the potential knockout matchups. And Group F and Group C, they play against each other. So they're going to have to look at each other to see how the matchups are going on there. But guys, I'm fully in the World Cup vibe. It's been absolutely brilliant. There's so many more games. We're halfway through round 1. Everything's going mental. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.